going to be pile 3 out of 3 readings. I'm filming out of order, which only occurred to me to do right at the start of this one. So let's see what's happening, because obviously things are happening for you, but maybe not in the order that you thought that they were. If that resonates, this reading's definitely for you. Maybe one of the other ones, hello. And it's hard to control things, and maybe you're trying to control things that are a little bit outside of your sphere of control. But let's get some advice cards, Spirit, for this collective. Ooh. Yeah, we have the Three of Swords coming out upright as a middle card. Is that everything? Okay. And the Ace of Pentacles on the bottom reversed, and we also have the Six of Pentacles reversed, and the Ace of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. And the order that they came out is kind of doesn't matter today. I'm going with the ones that are pulling me to them first. The control that you're trying to exert over something that's maybe outside of your sphere of control is because of pain that you have been through in the past. Doesn't necessarily have to be pain of the heart specifically when it comes to like relationships or something. But it does seem like it's pain about you being honest with yourself about what it is that you want, and then whether or not you receive that. I think this is about manifestations, and it feeling like you may feel like you're doing enough. Why are they not coming in, etc. Like it's a hurt of trust between you and the external universe. Because what's coming up here is the Six of Pentacles, which, if it's like upright, has a lot more to do with sharing and sorts of physical abundance, but definitely coming to some sort of a milestone as far as that, and seeing like progression with it, but it being reversed, and there also being the devilish figure here. It's like a feeling of it keeps going wrong. Even though it's not necessarily always ending up in a bad place. We have death underneath that, the Three of Pentacles. These are all, yeah, it feels like a bit of a topsy-turvy, like the opposite of what you want to happen keeps happening, which I kind of understand why you're trying to exert control over it. But this is the Wheel of Fortune coming up with the Ace of Swords in the center here. They came out together, and so there is a bit of a like, the Fool has been coming up in a lot of readings, and as much as that's not necessarily in this reading, it feels like it is, there's a bit of a trust fall that maybe needs to happen, as far as like the universe is not one entity that you have like has betrayed you a bunch of times the way it would be with a human, where in that scenario I would not be like, hey, try trust them again, because people show you who they are. What's up, fly? Okay. Maybe there's flies around you a lot. There's a fucking houseplant in here that has little ones growing in it. But why is it called over? To be chaotic energy, like right here in that moment in time. It's like things are all up in the air and you feel like they're maybe being thrown at you, but none have hit you. This is upright. It does feel like the wheel is turning in your favor and telling you to wait for it. Probably feels like something you've heard a whole bunch. But I think that there just needs to be some clarity and focus, specifically when it comes to what matters to you, and then just like kind of rolling the dice and seeing what happens. Maybe even using dice to like make a list of the things that you've been trying to manifest, or the things that are important to you now, because what you had been manifesting before isn't necessarily aligned with where you're at right now. And that might be a big issue. And roll like a die when it's one. But anyway, depends on how many things are in your list, and pick one of those things to focus on. And that means you putting in work, as well as trusting that the universe is going to meet you halfway. And because the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here is also reversed, where it just feels like even like you need a restart, a re-beginning with working out the way that manifestation works for you, rather than using like everyone else's playbook, if that makes sense. Ooh, okay, that's an interesting, can I get an oracle card for the switch deck? Okay. for them and advice for their manifestation journey and looking for their own way to do that. Please, angels. Actually, I'm going to touch the selenite here. Okay. It's a lot of that. Yeah, like the Wheel of Fortune energy is strong, where it's very like you'll fall into this or things will fall into place, and maybe it's about kind of oh, that song, let it all work out, let it all work out. I'm keeping that up here. Okay. Lemuria is the card that's here. Maybe the book would be a good thing to read at the time for you if I had that anywhere near. Okay. Nope, book's not available. Lemuria is creating heaven on earth. This may have to do with the fact that you are continuously looking at the bigger picture rather than your everyday life. And that is not a negative thing whatsoever, because it does give you some sort of direction, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the smaller things get as much attention, because you're looking at like goals, even goals like this, like you're thinking about what the world needs and what the people all around you need, like what will be better off and the path that we should take, etc. But like that's not within your control. What is your version of heaven on earth, and even that in itself is a very big thing to just manifest all in one go, because that is made up of individual practices like your lifestyle, your daily mindset, and how then that adapts and changes you. Because if you change any little incremental part of that, it snowballs into humongous change. In a year you would be able to like look back on the manifestations you've written today and realize like how what you want has changed, because you are in a different place of resonance, meaning you can understand that you're worthy of different things, better things. You're already doing it is the next card. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north, which feels very aligned with this. There's just like these like line down things where it's about like focusing on one thing at a time, one day at a time as well. Oh, I do. Oh my God, I love when a new card comes out. Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. This may also be that you have people around you or your influences are not necessarily currently fully aligned with like what it is that you want for yourself, which is how you're ending up with like manifestation practices that are not necessarily working for you. And then this last one was reversed. This deck I don't really do in verse because it's an oracle deck. But because there's this podium of like people, like generations connected, it's speaking to this like, if this is upright, there is like a consistent, through flow in the direction that it like wants to move. And with it reversed, it's like you're somehow blocking, probably based on just the other things that you're intaking that are not necessarily aligned with you right now, like the inner wisdom, the ancestral wisdom that's there, that can teach you and speak to your the truth and how it best would work for you to manifest in your time on earth here. Keepers of the earth, you're not alone. Ancient ancestors stand behind you. If you'll notice too, there's also a lot of animal imagery on this. So it may be down to looking to the pets that you keep and the animals that you feel most connected to, as far as like, how do they exist on Earth? What is the way that they show up in their day-to-day life, in the most simplest terms? And I think that there will be an answer there as far as a restarting journey to turn that right side up, of finding where it's best for you to make changes when it comes to the way that you're manifesting. I hope all of that helped. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.